Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Welcome to Lodi Academy. In this video, we will discuss about Oracle table partitioning concept. First, we will discuss about the concept in the first part, in the first video. Then we will discuss in further detail in the second video. So, partitioning enhances the performance, manageability, and availability of a wide variety of applications and helps reduce the total cost of ownership for storing large amount of data. Partitioning allows tables, indexes, and indexed organized tables to be subdivided into smaller pieces, enabling these database objects to be managed and accessed at a finer level of granularity. Oracle provides a rich variety of partitioning strategies and extensions to address every business requirement. Because it is entirely transparent, partitioning can be applied to almost any application without the need for potentially expensive and time-consuming application changes. Basics of partitioning. Partitioning enables administration of an object either collectively or individually. From the perspective of a database administrator, a partitioned object has multiple pieces that can be managed either collectively or individually. This gives an administrator considerable flexibility in managing partitioned objects. However, from the perspective of the application, the partitioned table is identical to a non-partitioned table. No modifications are necessary when accessing a partitioned table using SQL queries and DML statements. Partitioning key. Each row in a partition table is unambiguously assigned to a single partition using a key. The partition key consists of one or more columns that determine the partition where each row is stored. Oracle automatically directs insert, update, and delete operations to the appropriate partition with the partition key. Validating partition content. You can identify whether rows in a partition are conformant to the partition definition or whether the partition key of the row is violating the partition definition with the aura_partition_validation SQL function. The SQL function takes a row ID as input and returns 1 if the row is in the correct partition and 0 otherwise. The function is applicable for internal, external, and hybrid partitioning tables for both internal and external partitions and subpartitions. You can see the example code here in which we are first creating table and then we create another table, inserting values, then alter table, exchange partitions with partition P2 with table test2 without validation. Now if you run select, you can see the result and you can measure it, you can practice it. Now question is, partition tables, most tables can be partitioned. Any table can be partitioned up to 1 million separate partitions except those tables containing columns with long or long row data types. You can, however, use tables containing columns with C-lob or B-lob data types. So, question is when to partition a table. So, there are certain situations when you would want to partition a table. So, I can give some suggestions for situations when you should consider partitioning a table. Like tables that are greater than 2 GB. These tables should always be considered as candidates for partitioning. Tables that contain historical data in which new data is added into the newest partition. A typical example is a historical table where only the current month's data is updatable and the other 11 months are read-only. Tables whose contents must be distributed across different types of storage devices. When to partition an index? There are certain situations when you would want to partition an index. So again we have some suggestions like avoid index maintenance when data is removed. Perform maintenance on parts of the data without invalidating the entire index. Reduce the effect of index skew caused by an index on a column with the monotonically increasing value. Partitioned indexed organized tables. Partitioned indexed organized tables are very useful for providing improved performance, manageability, and availability for indexed organized tables. For partitioning and indexed organized tables, partition columns must be a subset of the primary key columns. Secondary indexes can be partitioned both locally and globally. Overflow data segments are always equipartitioned with the table partitions. System partitioning. System partitioning enables application controlled partitioning without having the database controlling the data placement. The database simply provides the ability to break down a table into partitions without knowing what the individual partitions are going to be used for. All aspects of partitioning have to be controlled by the application. For example, an attempt to insert into a system partition table without the explicit specification of a partition fails. System partitioning provides the well-known benefit of partitioning, scalability, availability, and manageability. But the partitioning and actual data placement are controlled by the application. Partitioning for Information Lifecycle Management. Information Lifecycle Management (ILM) is concerned with managing data during its lifetime. Partitioning plays a key role in ILM because it enables groups of data, that is partitions, to be distributed across different types of storage devices and managed individually. Range partitions for hash clusters. Partitioned hash clusters are supported in Oracle database. Only single level partitioning is supported for partitioned hash clusters. Partitioning and LOB data. Unstructured data such as images and documents which is stored in a LOB column in a database can also be partitioned. When a table is partitioned, all of the columns reside in the table space for that partition except LOB columns which can be stored in their own table space. This technique is very useful when a table consists of large LOBs because they can be stored separately from the main data. This can be beneficial if the main data is being frequently updated but the LOB data is not. For example, an employee record may contain a photo which is unlikely to change frequently. However, the employee personal details such as address, department, manager and so on could change. This approach also means that you can use less expensive storage for storing the LOB data and more expensive, faster storage can be used for the employee record. Benefits of Partitioning. Partitioning can provide tremendous benefit to a wide variety of applications by improving performance, manageability, and availability. It is not unusual for partitioning to greatly improve the performance of certain queries or maintenance operations. Moreover, partitioning can greatly simplify common administration tasks. Partitioning also enables database designers and administrators to solve some difficult problems posed by cutting-edge applications. Partitioning is a key tool for building multi-terabyte systems or systems with extremely high availability requirements. Partitioning strategies. Oracle partitioning offers three fundamental data distribution methods as basic partitioning strategies that control how data is placed into individual partitions. These strategies are range, hash, and list. Using these data distribution methods, a table can either be partitioned as a single level or as a composite partitioned table. Each partitioning strategy has different advantages and design considerations. Thus, each strategy is more appropriate for a particular situation. Single level partitioning includes range, hash, and list partitioning. A table is defined by specifying one of the following data distribution methodologies using one or more columns as the partitioning key: range partitioning, hash partitioning, list partitioning. For example, consider a table with a column of type number as the partitioning key and two partitions less than 500 and less than 1000. The less than 1000 partition contains rows where the following condition is true: 500 less than or equals to partitioning key less than 1000. So hope you understand this, and in the second part we will continue and we will discuss about range, hash, and list partitioning. So till then, goodbye, take care, and share this video with others who want to understand the concept of table partitioning. Goodbye till then.